line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up.
It's time for the Pit Stall Racing Series! If this track challenges on the asphalt side, oh, you haven't seen anything when it gets you on the dirt side. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bristol Dirt Track here in Bristol, Tennessee. This is the Bristol Motor Speedway with some dirt surfaced on for good measure. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader Chris Stride, joining you guys back here again. It's great to hear from all you and great to see you guys. I hope you enjoyed your 4th of July Independence Day weekend and our Canada Day brethrens over there. But now, of course, as always, it's time to get back down to business. Time to get back down to what we do best before we have a little vacation time of our own. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to listen in to your field of drivers today. Starting off with, of course, the driver of the number 3 here, and Michael Pratt here. And Pratt, bit of a different surface here to have to kind of come through and measure out with. You're having to run into the dirt side of things. What's it going to be like today for you and this team? I thought we got the mic up and running here. Nope, looks like we might not have Michael up here, unfortunately, so it looks like I'll just kind of have to jump around from there. And I'll see if the throttle Chantel Paul like to talk to us here real quick. Chantel, you got a copy down there?
Yep.
Alright, so Chantel right now having to swap in from the asphalt side going up to the dirt side this time around. What's it going to be like to kind of have to challenge yourself up on a surface you're kind of more known for?
There's a little bit to get used to with iRacing changing the tires, and now we actually got tire wear. We gotta kind of let that ass end slide out as much as what we used to.
With that being said too, obviously it's a bigger track, more wide open. Do you think that's going to kind of make the tires wear up a little bit more than say other tracks usually do?
Yeah, we're having a lot of wear. I'm trying to learn how to not have the right wear so much.
For sure there. Alright, well nevertheless, we do appreciate your time. Best of luck out there.
Thanks.
The throttle Chantel bottle, ladies and gentlemen, figure it out, as well as this guy right here, the old 88, ladies and gentlemen, the rattlesnake, Robert Kahn. Back with us. Now, Kahn, we're not really used to seeing you kind of get onto the dirt surface every now and then, but it seems like when you do, you start to kind of figure it out a little bit. What's it like for you today, though?
It's pretty good. Like, the track's all slicked up right now, and usually that's where I struggle at, but tell you what, it feels pretty good. I think it helps. I've been running a lot of the super late model on dirt and the 410 sprints. It's been really helping me out a lot here. So hopefully it'll translate into the race.
Translate the race. Now, I'll ask this as well here. Obviously, you got a tough road and amongst the drivers in the field to kind of take on here. What's it going to be like when the wear and tear of the tires start to kind of factor in since this new update came in?
I tell you what, it's changed it drastically where it's I enjoy it. So you have to be more smooth on the throttle from what I see, and you're searching around for a grip a little bit more, and you can't just hold it wide open like you have previously. You have to conserve your tires. So that's going to be huge. I think you're going to see people who might be up at the front traditionally, maybe midway through the race, slip to the back, and then vice versa. Someone from the back hit to the front. So I think you're going to see about halfway in this race, the tide start to change who's winning and who's up in the top five.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, it's certainly going to be a long road to get through here, but nevertheless, best of luck to you and the team, sir.
Hey, thank you, man.
That Rattlesnake, Robert Kahn, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we'll see if we get Eric Blount's on the line here. I'll talk with him in the number 6. Blount, you got a copy down there?
Copy.
Copy. Well, sir, right now, as you're getting things figured out here on the dirt side of things for you, what's it like kind of swap into the dirt things?
Not liking it at all. Just, struggling. Just trying to do the best I could tonight.
What's the struggle for you? Is it just kind of keeping the car online, or is the track just kind of being a little bit more weared up and teared up for you to get it used to?
Yeah, I'm just not a dirt racer. It's a different kind of skill set, race on dirt. I never really took it up. Probably should have now thinking about it, but it is what it is. We're just gonna try to make the best of the night.
For sure there. Well, Blount, best of luck out there, and we'll see what happens to you and the team.
Copy. Thank you, buddy.
Eric Blount, ladies and gentlemen, on the line there. And you can see, again, there's drivers that know how to run the dirt. There's drivers that don't know how to run the dirt, so they're going to learn pretty quick. You better be patient and persevere in the right time and the right efforts. It's very difficult to master this kind of racing, especially if you're an asphalt kind of guy, because usually you're trying to keep it straight, not let the rear end actually slip out like that. So Prison Mike comes on board, says keep up the good vibes from a fellow streamer and good luck on the race. Prison Mike, thank you so much for tuning in today, sir. So looking on right now, currently we are on the Bristol dirt track, which then brings me to my attention for your lightning Wrapz starting area here. Let's take a look at our track tack talk, presented of course by them. And well, really, what's the best thing I can tell you about this track besides the fact we don't have any track layout? It's a half-mile in length. It's a dirt oval, highest banks of all the dirt tracks we have on iRacing. What makes it so tough though? A lot more speed, a lot more power, and again, wear and tear, tire wear here extremely crucial. This place is going to wear out the right rear a lot more than these guys and gals realize. Focus their time and focus their lines. They're going to need to really stick to being smooth with the throttle, a little bit more clear on those long runs, 60 laps to the distance. I'm very interested to see how much of a difference that makes in these kind of races. I've seen drivers go out here before this update even came up to be, and they ended up like just driving the heck out of these things, and they wouldn't even be passed for the entire race. It would take like one little hiccup or someone to nudge them and bump them around a little bit. But now, this case, once that surface wears up and it starts to get a little harder to control, that's where you see a lot of drivers having to learn a lot of different ways to roll around the track. Personally, for me, since this dirt update, I haven't really had any time to run anything besides just a little dirt road course. And the dirt road side of things, I genuinely liked it. It was a little bit harder to keep the truck online when I ran my Pro 2 Lite. I actually had to be a little bit smoother, a little bit more careful in the throttle when I ripped around. But for the most part, it still gripped like it should and still wheeled pretty good. So I'd say, honestly, with the way this dirt stock, it's not as, I'm just going to be honest with you guys, the dirt stock is not where it should be in terms of like absolute control and speed here. Its setup's a little bit off in my opinion. I've talked to some actual dirt drivers out there, and yeah, they said the setup was just a bit off. They've tried to fix it to where they can get it to more what it's supposed to be like, but it's just still off. But like they told me as well, is that with all the other cars in this car itself too, is that tire wear does make a huge difference, and it does make for more interesting racing. So strategies do play out here, guys, and it does become more clairvoyant the more you're running around these kind of tracks. So the way we're going to do this, we are not going to have any qualifying. We'll go into a random pill draw for the heats, and we will then be set up for the A main event. 60 laps to the distance for the A main. So far, we have 9 drivers with us, so we should have 3 heats. Each heat is about 10 laps per heat, so then we draw it off to our final 60 lap main event, and we'll finish that out with our winners today in Victory Lane. So, who's who drivers right now, preparing up for battle, getting ready to go at it here. I am interested to see kind of how it takes from this point of view, so. One minute left on the practice side here. Thankfully, I don't have to play the intro. We already did that, so we're ready to go into the heat number 1. I'm interested to see who can kind of take the reins right out of the gate here and who can get themselves on top in terms of where they're going to run at, where they're going to go for. 10 laps, obviously, I'm not going to see too much wear and tear on those tires, so passing-wise, it's going to really boil down to who holds the line better than the other. When the track starts to tear up a little bit, it's going to be a lot harder for drivers to keep control of the car. But the good news is this track does allow for multi-groove racing. It does allow for multiple angles, so I'd say watch for any of the guys and gals to be focusing more on the tack and trying to stay away from the slick. But if you can run that slick in, you'll have a little bit more speed there to work off of. Practice is now coming to an end here. The final laps have been thrown onto the track here, so got a lot of new cameras too we're working with here today, so just kind of be ready for that, guys. I've got a few new things I've worked on and I've put together, so I'm hoping they look pretty good when the time comes. But with that said, practice is now concluded. Onward to heat number 1. And here is your starting lineup for heat number 1, ladies and gentlemen. On the pole, the number 6, it'll be Eric Blount, but his outside would be the 119 of David Cox, which he's actually race control, so he shouldn't even be in there. And then row number 2 is Robert W. Penko. And the 2 on the outside is the 88 is the rattlesnake, Robert Kahn. That is your starting lineup. So it looks like they're going to let Cox run anyway. I guess they're going to, I thought it was just going to be race control, but no, they're going to let him race. So, all good with me. Let him race it. Let's see him. Here we go. I've raced Cox before in those late models you may have seen on the Pit Stop Monday Night Series. Definitely can be a bit of a handful and a little bit of a workout to hang on to, but hey man, he can race it, so he can figure it out. Out of this field, I'd say Kahn probably the favorite. I've had a lot of dealings with him on the dirt track side of things. He knows how to run hard. And he's extremely clever at how he patrols the dirt. We'll have to see how he handles himself and how he handles the track here right now as he gets ready to rally him up onto the circuit. Every driver right now preparing to go at it here. Maybe getting a little bit of a feel for the surface here. Again, the dirt obviously is a whole nother animal in itself. This is not a track you can just kind of lay off lightly on. You've got to be very keen and focused and watching your step and watching your timing here. Blount, Cox, Penko, and Kahn. Look God. Awaiting our starting line here as they roll him down off of turn number 4 this time on by. Pace truck coming off. We'll let him loose off the distance into the dirt. Let's let it fly. It's back to the dirt track with the dirt refresh. Oh boy, that's what we're a little bit worried about. That's trouble. That's trouble. Cox already loose and Kahn in that birds and just taking right for a ride. And I don't think Kahn was too happy about that either. Yellow flag is out on the track there. Unfortunately, things go a little bit haywire there for David Cox. I don't think Kahn was too appreciative of that little spin in front of him there. I don't blame him, but I don't know if I would necessarily do that at him. Kahn kind of looked like he came up there right at him too there and kind of slapped him in there, and then Cox goes for a wild ride off of turn number 2 there See if we can get another look at it here. I think Con was probably expecting him to drive a little bit smoother there out of the gate, but we give him a big bump here in the back. Well, from that angle, yeah, it looked like Doc's rained right down on him there, unfortunately, and that's where it all kind of ended up being. Con definitely not happy here in heat number 1, that's for sure. Remember last week, too, back in Phoenix, had a little bit of a tough going there, unfortunately. Couldn't quite get everything put up to par, put up to where he wanted to be. Looks like Cox looks like he may be out of this heat now. Con's patrolling down to pit road, maybe looking to get some damage fixed up on his car there. And Cox has left pit lane, so it looks like he's going to try to roll it back out on the track. Damage seems to have been fixed up. Con getting himself squared out on the track as well, so it looks like we'll be able to return to green here. Well, Blount probably out of the gate thinking he probably just got a bit of a break there and letting these guys just kind of destroy each other out of the gate. But I guarantee you one thing's for sure, he's still going to have to try to figure out how to hold the line down a bit and get it all squared up here on the track side. Surface did get a little bit of a refresh as well, so they cleaned it up. Looks like they got it. I'd say it's probably about 20% on the burn there. So we're going to roll them off yet again, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, caution laps do count, so whatever you run's whatever you run. But that for those two involved, caution had to come out due to it. So 5 laps will be left to go here in this first heat. We'll roll them right back off the corner down into turn number 4 one more time by green flag back on out, and here we go again. Well, Blount trying to hold the line down. Con not wasting any time. Jabs him up a little bit. Blount not wanting to deal with the 88. Con going to try to sling his way in. The car doesn't want to exactly agree with him. And look at Blount. Cheap dive on the outside. Big jump from the number 6 as they're running right on top to the spot. Top to the bottom, top to the drop. Dropping in a little bit and see where he can go with it. Moves his way in. New camera angles being put to work here. Wow, looked like a little bit worried to get there right back on the bumper of Con. I think maybe that was just to try not to slap his bumper around there. But honestly, there's one thing about this track you're going to have to probably do eventually. It's get that nose on the rear end of somebody eventually to hang with him. Con, though, not wasting any time with that situation. Robert W. Panko right now. He's doing a pretty good job here. His debut, looking some runs off the corners and trying to run through the dirt. A little bit tight and then a little bit loose. Running in, tight on the entry, hard, really bad on the apron and the apex. Looked like he was struggling to keep the car a little bit more online on the toes. About to figure that out quickly as the white flag comes on out. Big run though, down the straightaway, shoots off the gap. Now he throws the slide job. Couldn't quite get it to stick on Blount. Not quite going to do him any good there. But what it will do good for that rattlesnake is going to be popping it into victory lane. Heat number 1 belongs to the rattlesnake, Robert Con. A good effort there by Panko and by Blount. But it is Con who steals one. Your race results here for heat number 1 coming up on your screen here, ladies and gentlemen. A good showing out of the gate for Con as Blount goes 2nd, Panko 3rd, and Cox will finish 4th. Next up on the list, it's going to be the Robert Smith from the number 10 on the outside and the number 08. It is Steve Rada. And finally in the row number 2, your shotgun of the field is the 5, the Throttle Chantel Bottle. The field drivers now preparing up for the action here as we're getting them off to the circuit. Rada, the 8FL, Robert Smith and the 10 Chick-fil-A, and then the Throttle Chantel Bottle, the 6 Sigma Sim Racing 5. I call that the velocity scheme she's got going on. She's got all that color, look, and design to it. It's changed. The only thing that's changed with it since I first saw it come out on the track was just simply some logos on it. If there's one driver I'd be really nervous about trying to face on a dirt track, it's certainly her. And Bristol Dirt seems to be up her wheelhouse. I've gone to war with her on this track, and I've gone to war with Con as well and other tracks like this, but mostly on the asphalt side of things with both of them. The dirt side is a very tricky little situation, so like I said, you really got to watch out when that track burns up. The entries can send you for a loop. The exits can give you a lot of power if you can hit it right, but you got to make sure you nail that throttle and you nail that speed in each time you go around. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, coming off of turn number 4. Pace truck this time off the corner and line them off down to the start. Green flag's out. Let's jump them off. Well, 3 wide out. Why not? Rada, though, up high side. Oh, boy. Robin's racing in the dirt side, especially, boys. And Pottle using that to her advantage. She'll take the early lead as Rada and Smith right now go head-to-head with one another back onto the track. Rada slinging it up a little bit too wide for his own sake. Smith and him having a good little jump off from corner 1 and 2. Dak down the back straightaway here. The throttle starting to gain more of a lead. Good battle between these two. Looks like a little bit more consistency on how to run the dirt side. Rada getting a little bit of that nose clicked up. Took a little bit off the cuffs there, but doesn't seem to phase him too badly. They'll roll it off as Smith loses up on the outside. Got 2 tangled up on the wall there, and now trying not to get entangled in anything else more than that. Looks like right now a lot of drivers are kind of aiming towards the top side, but you get into that wall, then you've absolutely ruined your car up a little bit. You're not going to get much power off there, and you're not going to get much more run from it. Pottle, your race leader, right at the minute. Boy, howdy, she making it work down there. You can see her steering the car in hard as can be and steady as can go. That thing does not stay straight. You've got to basically wheel on it and make it work. That's the beauty of dirt racing. It's a hard landscape to master, and it's an extremely challenging proficiency there. Robert Smith yet again on the wall there off of turn number 2. It looks like he might be struggling to keep the car a little bit more in control. Take a look at the onboard camera here. Much different horsepower when you hear what I used to hear, which is you used to just go full throttle in and out of those corners. Now you have to be extremely smooth and a little bit more clever on hitting your marks. Otherwise, you're going to lose out on a lot of speed and a lot of ground there, and I think these drivers are starting to kind of figure that out. Rada driving the heck out of it to try to get the throttle, Chantel Pottle, but Pottle yet again seems to be running away with this one. Just steer it in right, throttle it off, and let the car kind of sit in there, and that's exactly what she's doing. Rada trying to get a little bit more jump on the outside, but Smith is just getting all he wants for an opening. Settle him down. Smith now looking to the inside as we got a white flag up in the air. This is your battle for the 2nd spot. Smith using the bottom lane to his advantage. Rada's been trying to dig it in on the outside for a little bit. That slowed him up more than anything. Looks like smoother will be better. Coming up, Slide Job City, possibly. Nope. Oh, but Rada gets clapped up there, but it's Pottle taking the win. Rada getting 2nd. Smith will go home 3rd. Well, that certainly was an interesting little timing sheet there for those guys, but man, did they put up a fight there. Pottle takes this one home. Rada gonna go 2nd, 3rd to Robert Smith. Round and out. Heat number 2. Final heat, row 3 coming out. It's going to be Mike Rideout in the 76, and then the outside, the number 3, it is Michael Pratt Our final starter today, the defending champion, Blake Trawick, the number 56. The defending champion in this one. Very interesting to see how this one goes down for him. Have to start from the back, and he's having to work on a whole new surface here. Battle of the mics up front, though. Pratt and Rideout. Interested to see how this one kind of goes down for him here. For Mike Rideout, honestly, I mean, this is kind of something too for him that he's used to. He's used to running a bit of the dirt series. He got his start really with the PTM dirt series. Then he kind of started running a little bit on the pushing limits side of things and showed some great promise there. So I think if anything, he may be a contender here. But Michael Pratt, no slouch. I've dealt with him enough on the late models tour to know he can definitely put up a fight. And then what can you say about Blake Trawick? This guy is just personified. He can race it with the best of them and put you to the limits. Patrick Foss coming on board, says go number 3. Patrick, thanks so much for tuning in today. Alright, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Right off of turn number 4. It's time to get him back into the stack and rack him into the track. Green flag's out. 10 more laps to go for this heat. Wow, Pratt didn't get quite the start he was looking for there, and that might be another reason why. Well, I think Pratt might need to get some adjustments fixed on that car to try and hang with these guys. Mike Rideout a little bit tight coming off the exit of turn number 4. Big run from Trawick, and he's using it. He's using it. He's setting her up right now, looking for the pass on the outside, digging into the corner. Rideout going to try to use the bottom lane, but Trawick stays topside. Rolling it back down. Big pass coming up down the straight. And Trawick now has the race lead. Rideout going to defend, though. He'll fight back. Now has to go on offense. Might need to swap from the bottom to the top side there, good sir. That bottom lane is not giving much run for you. But he's holding it. I'll give him credit, though. He's holding on to it a lot better than most drivers were there in the first couple heats. He's hanging in there, but it's just not enough with the power and extra speed Trawick's getting on that outside. He's keeping it a lot straighter, and actually what he's using is the berb that's actually built up on the top of the track. There is a little bit more curbing up there, and it's actually working towards his favor. Once you start to build the cushion, then you have another line to use off from, but again, when you get into that A main, that's where things become a lot more tricky to work with. You can see how much it darkens up there. That's where all that loose and gravel stuff is. But if he can stay just one little bit below it, he hits the cushion, and the cushion's what's helping him push off from it. But Rideout, giving credit's due. He's not giving up here. Look at this. He's still firing it on him. We got a battle for the lead here, boys. This is some great stuff between Rideout and Trawick. And Trawick looked like he bobbled a little coming off the apex from the corner. Rideout trying to capitalize. Rideout might have to look and throw in a slide job city move in here. Oh, that won't help you at all. He's tight, then he's loose again. Just try to save it. Couldn't quite get it to go. Rolls it back through, and he'll keep it with Trawick. But Trawick's starting now to put the fire benders on. Trying to spit the fire out of him and get that run off. Rideout had a good little bit of run there, but he lost it in the corner. Two laps remain. Rolling up, top of the side to the bottom. Impressive so far. This has been the most competitive race we've seen so far today. Rideout trying to get there. He's got a chance. If he can get that exit to work, he'll have a chance to get him on the final lap. Here we go. Rideout, way too hard there. That was extremely hard to come back from. He'll have to throw it at Trawick if he wants any chance at it. He's going to deck it in deep, looking for the run. Not to be. Trawick, your winner. But a great battle there from Rideout. Shot all the way to the ends of the earth there to try to hang in there and just couldn't quite get it to go. But hey, man, what can you say about him other than just an impressive little display of consistency and control? Trawick outruns right out, and Pratt gonna go second and third, respectfully. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we are into the A main warm-up session. These drivers now, well, they get to burn up the dirt a little bit. Get themselves squared out on the track here and see what they like, see what they don't like. And we'll see from there what goes down. Just a minute left on the clock. Cam Crawford says, hashtag Team Rattlesnake. Kenneth, thanks so much for coming on board today here. The Rattlesnake will be tough, but I will say this. He's going to have to deal with Pottle and Trawick and Rideout. Those are my 4 favorites here for this one. Those are going to be the ones to watch in this race. They showed they had the most speed and the most endurance. And now that we're running on a clear, straight track, that could result in some drivers having to kind of adjust on the fly as it starts to burn up. But especially with that right rear burning in as well, that will definitely tear them out a little bit and force them to make some very complicated maneuvers. The driver that can keep this car the straightest and can keep themselves online the most, they will be the ones to watch out for here. The time has come, ladies and gentlemen. We are now entering in to the A main event. Robert Van Ness says, go get him, Snake. Robert, thanks so much for tuning on in today. If you guys haven't already, share us around. Let your friends and family know it's time for some A main racing here on PT Racing TV. Here's how we're going to do it. In the pole position, in the 88, it'll be the Rattlesnake. Rubber car on the outside. In the 5, the throttle is Chantel Pottle. Row number 2 in the 56 is Blake Trawick. The outside in the 6 is Eric Blount. Row number 3 is going to be Steve Rada in the 08 FL. And the outside in the 76, it's Mike Rideout. Row number 4 in the number 2, Robert W. Penko. The outside in the number 10, it is Robert Smith. Row 5 is Michael Pratt in the 3 with a 119 to round it out, David Cox. Your field of drivers now set to invade the track. Well, bring them onto the stage. The intensity glaring, the field now ready as they prepare up for what could be their toughest battle yet. Nobody right now is sitting down. Everybody on their feet looking on as they're about ready to witness themselves an absolute unit of a fight and a drive out between each one of these drivers. The question I have is, which one can figure it out the quickest? Which one can adjust on the fly and adapt with a 60-lap race like this? Not all these are true dirt drivers, but I can tell you they are drivers at heart. So if they know how to play, they know how to game, they're coming to race, they're coming to fight. This is their time, ladies and gentlemen. Our very first ever call on the dirt refresh surface and the dirt refresh cars. iRacing, let's see what you've done to this surface and circuit, and let's see what happens. Roll them down through turn number 4. That's time to find it all out and bring them to the green. Let's charge them up as we roll them down. The green is out. Well, right out of the gate, Blount, Rada, and Trawick having a little bit of a go around there. Pottle immediately trying to find some run there as well, as Khan takes the early lead. 4 wide off. Clear him down. From the back straight away. Trawick backs out. Looks like Blount wanted to kind of throw his name into the hat a little bit. Trawick is trying to save a little bit of the right rear tire out, maybe by just trying to stay out of that mess. Maybe wasn't too sure how to kind of get around it either. Robert W. Panko, though, man, give him credit where credit's due. He's already trying to show these boys up a little bit. I've seen dirt drivers be extremely excellent on this surface, and I've seen them absolutely be horrendous on the asphalt. I've seen kind of a mix of the other way around, where asphalt drivers weren't too good on the asphalt, but when they got on the dirt, they started to kind of put 2 and 2 together. Let's see what kind of runs these guys can come up with here. Right now, they currently face out with the track and the surface here. Michael Pratt looks like he did some good adjustments there from the original heat, fixing up the car and getting himself a little bit more wearied out on the track. Surprised to see Treywick and Rideout though as far back as they are, honestly, although I know Khan and Pottle are probably not too worried about that. Probably a lot more happier off knowing that's the case, but again, Khan knows the right rear can only handle so much, so if he tears that thing out after about 20 or 30 laps, how will that handle for these guys on the rest of the field? Ronnie Christian says, nice to see a dirt track race. Yeah, I'm agreeing right there with it. I'm glad to see the back on the track. I miss dirt racing, man. I wish we used to be able to call it all the time on Pete's Race TV. Then we all of a sudden really couldn't even do it no more because nobody wanted to race it, so we couldn't broadcast it. Now that this resurface has come up, we're just waiting for more calls. So dirt drivers out there, call us up. We'd love to showcase some more dirt track racing here on Pete's Race TV, so give us a call anytime. And this is one of the reasons why I like it. Close quarters, close encounters, and drivers just trying to arrow out the other by edging them into the field. Smith, Treywick, Rideout, and Blount right now hard on the gas pedal with everyone right now looking as conservative as they can to try to make it through. A little bit of trouble down there for Blount. Looks like the Glitchcraft Gremlins are on the attack on him. Steve Rado way up high side trying to avoid any issues as these guys continue to go head to head here. And you can just see how hard it is to make clear cut passes here, especially with this kind of dirt car and this kind of stuff they're running with. Steve Rado though way too aggressive early on, and now Mike Rideout looking to make him pay for that. Sticks to the bottom, and Smith, big jump up there as well. He's making a fight for it. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, man, is he making some work around there as the cushion develops on the bottom, it looks like. Some are trying to stay to the top, some are trying to stay to the bottom. Depending on where you want to run it at, that's your call, that's your decision, but just know, wherever you burn that track up, that's where that surface is going to be. Bottle down there, looks like some troubles. Wait a minute, what happened to the throttle and Robert W. Bank? Oh, no, that's not good. Oh, and a huge hit there for the 5. Left front wheel destroyed in that hit there, and it looks like she's got even more problems on her hands. You know, everything was looking A-okay until that all of a sudden happened. What the heck happened here? Oh, I think we might have an answer for that one. Here's a look at the Pizza Race TV Instant Replay, presented by Fort Worth Screen Printing. Well, Panko didn't look like he was ready for that 5 to slip up like that. Then all of a sudden, everything else broke loose. And then Pottle was trying to avoid Smith and instead ends up destroying a good majority of her car there. Take another look at the replay here and see just exactly how close that was. Don't adjust your television screens, folks. That's the dirt that's still on her car there. Yeah, I'm not really sure in Paul's case if she was really knowing where the Smith was going there. Unfortunately, just kind of found herself in a bad spot then, that deal. Panko, unfortunately, kind of clipsing that around too. Didn't help her at all. So the number 10 is Smith going to have to go to pit road as well. Here he's going to need to get some damage fixed up quickly on that. 2 instant repairs to these drivers here. One thing that's kind of cool too is the way the car kind of moves around too. I do like the fact the wheel does kind of break a bit and everything else kind of hits off on it. The only thing I wish they did a little bit better on was the damage model still. I still wish they fixed that up and get us an actual square body on these cars here. I'm just saying, iRacing, we've been asking it for I don't know how many years now. It would just be nice. That's the thing I hear too a lot with the dirt late models as well, is like not being able to cave in the inside of the door panel, the corner panels there. God's still having some troubles down at pit road. I don't know if he just forgot to turn off his tire set or if he forgot to turn off the fuel line there. Otherwise, he would have been out and in and out pretty quickly. Steve Rada right now coming from pit road. Looks like he had a little bit more damage than he was expecting as the Firelight 8 machine. Now going to be in a bit of a dilemma here. Michael Pratt trying to hurry back around as well. Paddle going to maintain the third place position from pit road, so that'll help her out a little bit, get herself a little bit more wear and tear it up. So here we go, race fans. Drivers are now rolling back up to the starting line here. Positioning is key here, and power off on those runs are going to be very important. On now to the green flag race start zone. We are back underway. Wide right off of turn number 2 there, as they're still clearly almost 3 wide in there. Blount kind of fighting around a little bit. Right out, Treywick and Paddle going head to head here. Smith and Rada as well. Rada a lap down, so he's trying to hurry back into this. Treywick, maybe be careful. The Glitchcraft Gremlins are on the attack from right out. Slug a little bit off there. Sluggish from corner exit. Here comes the throttle. Chantel Paddle been to victory lane quite a few times in this track. She'd love to add another one in there. Gonna dip down low. Looking to try to take down Treywick here. That's a big one for her if she can do it. Those two have been to war with another for 4. Treywick's had her number on the asphalt side of things. She's looking to try to perform on the dirt. It's strange to me how she's getting a lot looser on the entry, but man, she's kicking it back on the exits there. I'm surprised that it's able to really build up that much. She might be able to corner off a little bit better than Treywick is right now, and I think Treywick's starting to see that. Oh boy, that rear end of Paddle though, stuffing out a little bit underneath her. I thought that might have gone up into the 56. It didn't. Hangs on a little. Now drips it right up again, right close to it. That's close. Oh, Treywick though, right off the wall. That's going to slow you down, my friend. There ain't no wall right here. That thing will slow you up. Treywick, no idea what happened until it was too little too late. Your new leader is the throttle, Chantel Bottle. Here comes Robert Smith now. Trying to diverge down from the bottom to the top. Going for the run. Right out Lincoln low for just a little bit as we're nearly halfway done with this race. Treywick still hanging on. Smith right in the mix, trying to battle it off here. Looking for every bit of speed he can get. But you can see down below and what's going on with him as well. Treywick's been undefeated this season in this new little series. He's won with 2 different series, 2 different tracks, 2 different cars, but this is his first attempt on a dirt side of things. And I think he's learning pretty quick. This is not the easiest to figure out. The throttle Bottle right now looking like maybe she finally has a bit of a grip here, a little bit more of a sense on this dirt street stock. I talked to her earlier today. She said, I really do not like the way they felt. I feel like they changed up a little too much with it. They shouldn't have. But I don't think it seems to be phasing her out too much. I think she really is just kind of keeping her mentality up and keeping the pressure on. Robert W. Penko right now looking to fight back as he rolls it right back in. The number 2 not done yet. Neither is the rattlesnake Robert Cons. They're both charging. Looking down low. Oh, Pratt. No, God, no! Bye! Pratt got clipped up there by Khan. The rattlesnake couldn't quite keep it off him. No caution out, though. They're going to stay green. Khan got him in the corner, though, and Pratt, unfortunately, his day's pretty much done and over with for that one. An unfortunate incident there, but there's not much you can do from that kind of ordeal. You just got to try to race it out. Man, watching this go on like this, man, it really makes me really want to get back on that dirt track right now. I miss it. Heck, I think after this race, I might actually just hop in the gold car and go race out with some of those other official boys. Speaking of racing out, Smith still trying to use the bottom lane ahead of Treywick. Remember, they worked on Treywick with Rideout, but it doesn't seem to be working right now anyway. Treywick seems to have a slight groove there off the cuts of the corner, and that seems to be where he's really using it to his advantage. And again, he's trying to stay off of that number 56, but he's trying to build the power up too and make the machine work as good as it can and good as it needs to. It seems like he's able to kind of hang with him, but he just can't quite get a good pass on him. So that tells me the track surface is starting to change a little. But then you got to factor in that right rear tire. How bad is it getting wore out and tore up by running in that lane, running into that surface there? Again, you can't full throttle it like you used to. It's a whole different ball game. And again, I love the fact that you have to do that, but at the same time, in this kind of format, this kind of race, you really got to be very temperamental and careful about when and where you make your move. Panko now looking up to the bottom. As you see Steve Rader right now trying to use the outside lane. That's not going to work for him, obviously. He's using that wall to slow you up. The MRM network right now, number 76, trying to keep the number 2 down low of him, trying to stabilize up. We've got 25 laps left to go. The throttle sent up out of your race leader are now about a second and a half ahead of this field. She might have finally found a way to maneuver around in this series. And of all things, it's on her kind of landscape, her kind of style of racing. Remember, she grew up in a front-wheel drive car racer, so she knew how to run dirt before really a lot of these drivers even knew how to run an asphalt track. And what's keeping her so fast is, again, look at how smooth she is. Look at how smooth the throttle is and how smooth she steers the car in. She's not forcing it to do anything it shouldn't. Occasionally she makes a little hiccup here or there, but when she gets back in the throttle, she's gassing it properly on the turns. Everybody else has been struggling to kind of get that momentum, the same deal. So if once that surface breaks down, though, you can't really do what she's doing no more unless you have that car like dead set on that kind of run. Basically where the car tightens up enough to where you can actually keep it straight rather than letting the rear end slip out that much. Steering offset and the ratio extremely important and crucial in this kind of dilemma, this kind of deal. Too much of it and you'll end up oversteering it. Too little of it, you understeer it, and then it becomes actually harder to catch the slide. So how you result around it is, again, set the offset to where it only steers in enough to the right to keep the car straight in the turns, but on the straightaways, you got to figure out, do you want to try to make sure that the skew of it is able to stay straighter in there, or do you want it to be tighter in the turns? If you're looser in the turns, then you have to hope that straightaway, once you run off on it, gets more power off the run. I learned that a while back there from some other actual dirt drivers, how they kind of explain it. You either set it up for the turns or you set it up for the corners on dirt tracks. Because what that does is it helps really maintain your speed, maintains your run, but at the same time, it also builds upon it. So you always say you want to find a half medium, but with some of these kind of tracks, especially the track like this, you really just gotta make a choice. Do you want to have the long straightaway speed, or do you want to have a little bit more of that kind of giddy up, if you will, to hang into the turns? For Paula right now, it's pretty simple. She's just using every bit of that turn and just keeping her throttle up in the straights. Hey, look at her just kind of dance around that tarmac there on the black parts of the surface. She's actually using it quite well, I'll say. And these drivers square it up a little bit more and a little bit less out. You hear Khan's throttle rhythm too. He's really struggling, honestly. I'm surprised that he's having this much issues. I would have thought he would have been able to power out a lot better than this. But it sounds like the car is not quite really working with him the way he was hoping for. Steve Rada with problems out there, and it looks like he's going to enter into pit road now, so it looks like he's done. Well, he's got to get back on the track now, so it looks like he'll try to run it out. But yeah, Rada having all sorts of issues out there. Same with Eric Blount. Smith and Treywick still at each other's noses here. Watch out for Rada up there, boys. It's just amazing to me just watching dirt racing back in, the scene back on the surface. I kind of wish we had the surface a little bit more burnt up, honestly. I would love to see these guys have to face that again, because it seemed like in the heats that was what made that battle between Rideout and Treywick so good. I'm not saying the surface they're running on is bad, far from it. I'm just saying it would have been a lot more interesting to see them have to navigate the slick and navigate different parts of the track. Because right now it seems like as long as you got a grip, you got to run there, and it pretty much sets up. So I guess that's racing sometimes. That's just part of the deal. It's part of the way you do it. Well, they're rusted up. Little number 2 right now. Not exactly in the best of conditions, but hey, still works out there. So nothing you can complain about. Oh, there goes Rada. Rada got loose there off of turn 2. He lost in the turn. Now he's got to square it back up. They'll stay green. Ten laps left to go right now, and Pottle still leads it. She's got a 4-second lead on these boys right now. I think it's safe to say she figured out how to run this track pretty well. Oh, look at her actually. Look at that. She's actually using a little bit of that brake. Look at the throttle rhythm. Look at the brake on the left side. Look at her left foot. She's actually slipping in the brake just a little bit as she's in, and then getting the throttle to work, so she's actually kind of teal and toeing it a little bit. She's making everything work quite well, and she's using it as much as she needs to here. Look at Panko now, and gonna go right up on the outside. Smith way loose. Panko driving in deep, but he gets right up there. Drove it in deep and made it stick. Now Treywick trying to hold him back. Big run coming from Panko here. Now that we've seen the Dirt Street stocks back too, I am kind of curious what these Super Late models will do now. I saw some incredible racing from those Dirt Boys on some of those streams I've seen, so I'm really curious to see what they can do now. Panko saved his time, saved his tire. Oh, but he didn't save the turn there. That was a little wide. A little bit too wide in the throttle. You can't hold it that wide open there, bud. Gotta try to somewhat control it. Steve Rada more troubles down there in the FL. He's just gonna try to get out of the way and let them continue on. We're down to 5 laps to go this time on by the throttle. Chantel Pottle trying to finish this one up. Laura Lee Pottle right now watching on. She's rooting for her right now, wanting to try to have her do good. And look at Treywick now. He's on the rear end. He's on the cuts. He gave Panko a lot of room. And Panko now jumping it ahead. Panko doing a great job, battling hard for that position, battling for that run. Here comes top 5 going at it. Khan and Rideout. The Rattlesnake versus the old Rideout himself. Well, these two look like they've got a worn, tore up car right now. They're both trying to hang on. Once that rear end starts to kick out underneath you, you have no grip. It's pretty much just holding on and just hang on for the best of them. It's easier said than done, I tell you that much. This time around, green flag coming out, Pottle holding on for whatever's left of the rear end. She drove, in my opinion, one of the best races she's had all season round, despite getting taken out there at one point. It did not seem to phase her. Off the cuts of 3 into turn number 4, white flag coming out, presented by Fort Worth Screen Printing and John T. Garrett Twitch channel. Bottle, watch out for the traffic down there. You just got one more set of corners to go through. 2-3 to turn number 4. It's been a while, but the dirt driver comes back out of the throttle. Chantel Bao, she's your winner at the Bristol Dirt Track. The race winner at the Bristol Dirt Track today will go to the throttle. Chantel Bottle, the Six Sigma Sim Racing 5 machine, back in victory lane after a little bit of a time away. A huge win for her and her team, something she hasn't been able to do in quite some time. This Banco goes over and just congratulates her on that one. I don't remember these dirt cars being able to do dirt donuts that well. Look at that. Bottle gonna tear that thing up a bit. She's gonna throw it all out there. That's something. Been a time or two since she's been in victory lane, ladies and gentlemen. But ladies and gentlemen, she's back in it. Your race results now on your screen. She'll take home victory today. Robert W. Penko gonna go into second place. Blake Treywick goes home third. Robert Smith fourth. Robert Kahn fifth. Mike Rideout sixth. Michael Pratt seventh. Eighth. Steve Rada. Eric Blount ninth. David Cox will go home 10th. That is your top 10 drivers. Well, that was quite an interesting show, was it not? I thought it was quite fun there. See the old dirt tracks racing back on display, back on the show. It's time to see your top 3 now with us here, ladies and gentlemen. Our third place finisher, of course, Blake Treywick, putting on a little bit of a show there and putting on a great battle there, and a big congratulations to him. His win streak may come to an early end this season, but hey, I think he'll have more to come. And when he returns to that asphalt side of things too. Robert W. Penko, man, talk about putting on a show for his debut race. Comes out swinging and fires it all on the cylinders. It's a very interesting subject for him as he takes home a good little show there. So, but ladies and gentlemen, here is your third place finisher now. Treywick just now hopping out of the car. Sorry about interrupting your little conversation there, Treywick. But nevertheless, third place today. Man, certainly definitely been off to a good start to this season.
Yeah, it's been a while since I ran dirt. I completely forgot about the tire wear there. So we did not take tires in pit, and then, whoo boy, that cost.
I was going to ask about that. Like, did the tire wear make a difference? Did that make a bit of a change up for you guys and everyone else on the track?
Oh, yeah. If you took tires in that stop there, it was about, I want to say about 12% tire wear there. I didn't think much of it at the time. But once we went back green, I could notice it. Who took tires, you were doomed. I was hoping for a yellow there, to be honest, but it's amazing. Just even 10% difference. Like it's this big update on dirt has done a wonderful job on tires at least.
Did a wonderful job on the tires and made a difference for you and the team. Now, obviously, I know this was a very tough position to be at and a very hard little race to kind of fall back under. But all in all, how would you consider this race for you and this team?
Pretty fun. A little disappointed because I come from dirt racing in real life, so it hurts a little bit to not win it. But it was a fun race. Like it's very enjoyable. That update made dirt racing even more fun.
For sure there. All right, well, nevertheless here, Treywick, we want to thank you today for this third place finish.
Yep. Every week, week in, week out, you guys up here in the booth and everybody that's involved in this league. Splash and Go graphics for the paint schemes. Like amazing shows out there.
For sure there. All right, well, nevertheless, Treywick, appreciate you coming on board. Congratulations taking home a third place finish.
Thank you.
Blake Treywick, ladies and gentlemen. Your second place finisher now joins me here on the call. Robert W. Benko going home second today here. And Robert, what a little drive here for your first debut race here, man. You sure showed up and put a fight to these guys today.
It was definitely crazy. Caught me way off guard personally because I've only done, I think, maybe 5 dirt races ever in iRacing. But it was a hell of a lot of fun. I liked it.
Now, I got to ask this, too. You had a very tough little deal there between you and the Throttle Chantel Paddle. I know, obviously, you two kind of got a little too close together. Can you kind of explain, like, what went wrong there, then what kind of helped you bring back the fight to the end of this one?
I'm sorry, my internet cut out there. What was the question?
So you and Paddle there had a little bit of a hit up there, unfortunately, where you two kind of clashed into one another. Could you kind of explain, like, from there, like, how hard it was just kind of figure out what to do from there and to get back into the spot here?
Oh, yeah. I got too greedy at the beginning and dove it in too hard and just ran into them. And I feel really bad. But I was happy to see them go on and I think they're the winner.
Yeah, she ended up winning it, but, I mean, at the end of the day, man, you still came home with the second place today. Anybody really want to thank you for that one today?
Just Blake, because he's always helped me with stuff and had a lot of fun racing with everybody.
For sure there. Well, we certainly can't wait to see you come back on out here. But, Robert, thanks so much for tuning in, and congratulations on this second place today.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert W. Penko, your second place finisher today. As the Throttle Chantel Paddle finally out of the car into victory lane here. And Paddle, been a time or two, but once again, you return to your kind of style of racing and now coming home with a victory. How does this one feel today?
Pretty good. Having tire wear actually makes a difference. So I took some right rear tires when we pitted, and it stuck.
It stuck. It gave you the groove and gave you the show there you needed. Really, with this update and everything in the tire wear, how much of a difference does that make for you and this team to have to kind of really adjust on the fly and figure out how to get better with the kind of racing you deal with?
Not too bad, I guess. Just a lot more to learn, I guess, and go from there.
For sure there. Well, anybody want to thank you for this finish today?
Everyone at PTM Racing TV and the pit stall.
For sure there. All right. Well, Chantel, congratulations. Bringing it on home to victory lane.
Thanks.
The Throttle Chantel Paddle, ladies and gentlemen, your winner. Yeah, we'll about do it for our coverage here. A big thank you again to your friends at Fort Worth Screen Printing. Visit them up at fortworthscreenprinting.com. Also, visit up John T. Garrett Twitch channel for more information. See it on Twitch. He's always live, and he's running the ARCA series. You don't want to miss him. And, of course, Lightning Wrapz. Be sure to visit them up for most affordable designs and wraps at a lower and industrial price. Ladies and gentlemen, that's about our coverage today for your race in action here. We appreciate you tuning in, and that's how the green flag flies. Next time on Pizza Race TV, stay safe, be good out there, and God bless you all. I'll see you next time.